All right, class. So first off, as always, good day. So this video is the second of the demand videos. This is the last one as well. So today we're going to be talking about mainly income and uh, elasticity and elastic. Okay, and not the actual elastic like rubber bands, but we'll get to it. Okay, so here is your warm-up picture. Um, Pretty self-explanatory. So basically, first question, make a list. What do you see? And second question, what do you think is happening here? What do you think this artist is trying to say? So you got the then and now, type of stuff. Let me move this if I can a little bit. There we go. Um, that newspaper there. Um, what does this say? Okay. What do you think this artist is trying to say? Okay. So be sure you get that down um, and be prepared for the notes just that they're going to start right now. Okay. Okay. So change in quantity demanded. This is basically a movement along the demand curve. So if you remember from the last video, the graph you made, which basically should have went um, started up high against the side and then go downwards. It shouldn't be jumping up and then down at the top of that. No, it should go straight down. Um, so on that line, saying the movement moves, the change of quantity um, of the product purchased in response to a change in price. So whether that price is going high or low, it changes it, whether it's going to go this way or that way. Okay. Income effect. Now this is kind of interesting because the thing is, a change in quantity demanded uh, changes because of prices that alters the customer's real income. So, for example, if someone's working at a job, a company, and all of a sudden it fails, it goes under, it goes to Chapter 11, they're closing the doors and all that good stuff. And the thing is, the people who work there, they're gonna lose their jobs. No more paychecks will be coming in. So, thing is, they can now only focus on the essentials, which is again food, shelter, and clothing. That's it. They can't afford to buy the Gucci purses, stuff like that, because is that a want or a need? And that is a want. It's not a need. Okay. Same thing with like the clothing, the designer clothing. They can't buy that no more because that is a want. It's not a need. A need is again like the basic, the basic of basic and cheap. Okay, so that's what we mean. Now we come to this thing called the substitute effect. So basically, this is a change in quantity demanded because of a change in relative price of the product. So basically, it's something that's really expensive here. You find the same thing basically down here. So the thing is, like when you have a large income, you have a lot of money, you're like, I want to buy that high-end stuff. I want to buy this really expensive things. Maybe not too expensive, but just enough. Better quality than what you're used to. Um, but if you lose your job, your money is tight. Basically, you're gonna go generic. You're not gonna be spending money on all kinds of fancy things. You're like, no, no, no. You need to save your money. So you're more tight on it. You know, and that's human nature again, because survival that's essential. You know, so a lot of people, get that income, they get that check, and they pay the bills first. Insurance, all that good stuff, and then if there's money left over, go to the movies, buy a little something extra. You know, but that's about it. All right, so change in demand. Basically, people are willing to buy different amounts of the product at the same price. Okay. Now, the thing is, the shifts that we talked about, how the line moves, if it's good, that means the line is going to go um, to the right. Okay, so that one says increase in demand. That's good. The thing is, when it goes to the left, that's bad. That's a decrease in demand. Okay. Um, Now, the thing is, this is God's honest truth that your taste in things change. It differs as time goes on. It really never stays the same. Um, Things like fads, things that are popular, trending, they always change. You know, um, and that's okay. That's part of it. Anything from music to clothing to way people say things, popular things to buy. Whether it's shirts, pants, jerseys, whatever. It changes constantly. It never really truly stays the same. Okay. Now we get to substitutes. This is when an item can be used in place of another item. Something like even though it's healthier to have extra virgin olive oil, you can use canola. It's not as healthy as extra virgin olive oil, but it is kind of healthy. Healthier than just straight oil or manteca or some of that, but it's not as healthy as extra virgin olive oil. Okay. Another one is like butter and margarine. You know, Margarine is cheaper, but it doesn't have the same taste as butter. And the thing is, it is a substitute. So, like, if you're cooking something and it says to use butter, you can use margarine, the same amount, but it's just not going to taste as well, you know. But you can substitute. Okay, so here's my question to you. What is a fad or a trending thing that you remember taking part in 10 years ago? So think back when you were younger. Or was there some particular type of music or dance or a type of clothing or a game or something that people ate all the time, you and your friends, or majority of people? Is there any slang words that you remember you used to say, catchphrases, whatever? So think about that. Think about it. Think about 10 years ago. How old you were, how'd you dress, what kind of things did you and your friends talk about, what kind of things you guys wear, things you thought was cool to do. Okay. And then write about that. What was it? Okay. Um, if you were in class, we had a fun discussion about this kind of stuff. Um, and since you're watching this video, chances are you weren't there and you missed out. It was a lot of fun. So think about it. Okay. And if you need help, talk to the people around you. You know, um, if you are in the classroom, ask somebody real quick, about like 10 years ago, like, do you remember this? How long ago was this thing? This type of music, dance, that haircut, when people used to say this or that, or that one game that everyone played on their phone, so think about it, okay? And again, if you're at home, ask your parents, ask your brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever. Okay. Okay, so compliments. This is what we're not talking about compliments like, oh, you look nice today. No, we're not talking about those type of compliments. We're talking about goods that increase the demand of another thing. So they go hand in hand. Okay, so something like a computer, right? If you get a computer, fine, great, whoop whoop. But you really can't do anything unless you get software, something to run, some applications to run on it. You know, um, if you just get a computer with nothing on it, it's like, well, what do you do with it? You if you have a car, you need gasoline, right? I've never seen anybody basically get a car and then like, hey Bob, how you like my car? And they're pushing it. No, you need gas to go with it. Oil, things like that. Pets. If you have pets, you need to feed it. Okay, that's the thing. You get a pet, you need to feed it. So those things go hand in hand and maybe like shampoo and things like that for the dog or cat or whatever it is you have for the pet. But these are basically anything that you get and you need another thing that goes with it. Okay. Now shifts can change due to number of consumers. That happens too. If a particular thing is only going for a particular type of group, that might cause the line to shift left or right. Um, and also, there's a lot of reasons why the demand line would shift to the right, which is good, or the left, which is bad. Okay, so that's basically that part. And again, remember, to the right is good, to the left is bad. So if you look at that chart versus D1, that's normal, right? Say that one's the middle one, normal. D2 is good. D3 is bad. All right, so now we're going to get to the part of elasticity. Now, this is a measure of responsiveness that tells how a dependent variable, such as quantity, responds to a change in independent variables such as price. Basically, in a nutshell, it's a cause and effect type of thing. So let's say, okay, let's look at the word elastic. Elastic is like a rubber band. A rubber band stretches, right? You can stretch it pretty well, and at a certain point it'll break, but you can stretch it. Okay. The thing is, when the price is uh, low, like dirt low, we talked about this before in the other video, people will buy it. So that picture gives a great example. Soda for $1, a 2 liter. Heck yeah, people are gonna buy it. And the thing is, it will, um, the stretch for it is like, heck yeah, they'll buy a bunch. But if the soda, a 2 liter, costs like $3, $4, people are like, what? I don't need soda that bad. Or if they do, they want it, they'll probably be like, what? I can get a 20 pack of it a lot cheaper than I would at like $4. I might as well just spend another dollar or two and get a 20 pack. You know, so that's an elastic where the change happens because there's a big change in the prices, whether it's making it smaller or making it bigger. Okay. Now, inelastic is basically the opposite. Sorry about that. At a given change in price, it causes a relatively small change in quantity demanded. So basically, it's like my phone here. I can't stretch it. No matter how much I try to pull, it's not going to stretch. That's inelastic, you know. But in this case, it's like if the price goes really high, people are not going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy any of it. They're like, I kind of need it, so I'm not going to buy a bunch of it. And same thing with if the price is really low. People are like, I'll buy some, but I'm not going to buy a ton of it, you know. So regardless if the price goes up or down, people are usually going to buy the same amount of it. I give the example of table salt. You know, sometimes salt is like dirt cheap, but you don't see people have a garage full of it. People are like, well, I might buy an extra can, maybe, you know, maybe two, max. But all that salt, they're like, why? You know, and if the price goes really high, they're gonna be like, okay, well, I need it, but I'm not gonna go buck wild on it. I'm not gonna drown my steak in it. I'll probably be sparingly on it till the price goes down. That's what they mean. That it's not gonna you're not gonna be overly buying stuff, and you're not gonna be like I'm not gonna buy it at all because the price is too high. That's the thing. Okay. So the picture right there gives another great example. Milk. If it's like 80 cents for like a gallon of it, you're not gonna buy 50 gallons of milk because then what happens after like 3 weeks? You know, it spoils, right? It has a shelf life. You know, yeah, you can freeze it, but after a while, it's like, because after you open it and some of that, yeah, and then to have 50 of them, you know, so that's the thing, okay. Um, so remember, inelastic is no matter how much it costs or how little, you're basically going to buy the same amount. All right, and so that's the end of this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. I hope you really did. So make sure your name is on this packet. First name, last name, period number, and day, and then turn it into the basket near the door. Okay, do not give it to me. Do not place it on my desk. It will get lost. All right. Um, so that's it. All right. So you guys have a good day. Take care. Be safe.